Welcome to the Odyssey Sports Fantasy Football Show. I'm Chris Emma, alongside my colleagues Jordan Cohn and Jesse Pantusco. It's week 4 of the season, and we have your waiver wire pickups, your stream team, and your stealthy starts. I'll get us started on the waiver wire, and I am looking at Cowboys tight end Dalton Schultz. Now, hear me out on this one. He had 2 touchdowns last night. Fantastic. He didn't have much performance before then, but he's the 5th best tight end in terms of fantasy points this season. Then after a 2-touchdown performance in that Monday night stage, it boosted his stats a lot. But look, Dak Prescott is going to be getting his guys some volume. He's going to be getting those opportunities in Dallas, and Dalton Schultz is taking advantage of it. That is going to be a high-octane passing attack. You got a glimpse of it in prime time. I'm looking at Dalton Schultz on the waiver wire. Look, it's not a strong waiver wire this week, but the tight end position has been weak this season, so he's somebody I'm looking at. Jordan, who are you looking at on the waiver wires this week?
I'm going to go with another NFC East skill player, and that is Giants rookie wideout Kadarius Toney. He's going to get an opportunity. It's not exactly the way the Giants envisioned it, and that's because both Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton went down to injury. Obviously not a good thing for the Giants, but a good thing for Kadarius Toney's fantasy stock. He hasn't really had an opportunity thus far, but Giants fans have been desperate to see their rookie perform on the field, and now he's going to get that uptick in snaps. We've already seen that. He had 5 snaps in week 1, 19 in week 2, and then up to 46 in week 3. That could continue to increase in week 4, and hopefully his first round talent will be evident in a lifeless so far Giants offense.
That's a good pickup. Jesse, who are you looking at this week?
Hopefully Kadarius Toney can find some cleats that fit him. I know that was a problem for him this summer. Anyway, I really liked what I saw from Chuba Hubbard in week 3, totaling 79 yards from scrimmage in relief of Christian McCaffrey, who was lost to a hamstring injury early in Carolina's win over Houston. More importantly, he outtouched teammate Royce Freeman 14-6 while outsnapping him 40-11. There's value to be had in this Carolina backfield, as we saw last year when Mike Davis finished as the overall RB11 in PPR leagues, averaging over 16 touches per game with 8 touchdowns in McCaffrey's absence. Hubbard fell to the 4th round of this year's draft after a sluggish 2020, but he was one of the top players in college football the year before that, leading the nation in rushing yards as a unanimous All-American in 2019. Sam Darnold surprisingly got most of the Panthers' goal line work a week ago, but based on his rushing track record, I'm guessing that's an outlier. Even if McCaffrey makes it back sooner rather than later, soft tissue injuries tend to linger and are easy to aggravate, making Hubbard a worthwhile stash in all formats.
That's a great pickup. As a McCaffrey owner, I was sad to see somebody grab my handcuff already, so tough loss for me, but we'll move on, and let's look at the stream team now. Jesse, you have our quarterback this week. Who was your stream team pick?
Well, the fantasy community has yet to fully embrace Taylor Heinicke. He's owned in just 3.5% of ESPN leagues at the moment. But I think you can make a pretty strong streaming case for him this week against Atlanta, a team that's been manhandled by opposing QBs. Despite his turnover woes, he's already been intercepted 3 times. Heinicke has been a quietly steady fantasy presence while filling in for injured starter Ryan Fitzpatrick in Washington, producing a QB12 finish in week 2, followed by an even more impressive QB9 showing in week 3. Heinicke has good wheels for a quarterback, as he demonstrated in last year's playoffs when he rushed for 46 yards and a touchdown against Tampa Bay. Only Washington and Kansas City have allowed more fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks than the Falcons this year. Playing indoors as road favorites in a game with sneaky shootout potential, Vegas set the over-under at what I believe is a conservative 48.5. Heinicke makes for a rock-solid streamer and a potential week winner in DFS. I'd also like to point out Heinicke's official headshot on NFL.com shows him with a stitched-up forehead, which is awesome.
What more do you need than that? Jordan, who's your stream team pick this week?
As always, slim pickings for the tight end stream team, but I like Kmet this week going up against the Lions. Look, the Bears have no idea what's going on with their quarterback situation, but it does look like they have the tight end situation figured out. Kmet had 96% of the Bears' week 3 snaps, which is a very good sign for the second-year Notre Dame product. And the Lions have given up good fantasy outings to George Kittle, Robert Tonyan, and Mark Andrews in each of the past 3 weeks. No, Cole Kmet might not yet be one of the talents that they are, but he does have a good opportunity against a shoddy defense in week 4, and with that huge, snap percentage on his side.
I can't believe I'm saying it after watching 47 yards of offense last week, but I would buy in on the Bears this week against the Lions. So I'm with you on that. More on that later for me. But my stream team defense is the Cincinnati Bengals, and they are facing the Jacksonville Jaguars Thursday night. So it's a short week of preparation for both sides. I think that affects a rookie quarterback in Trevor Lawrence more than it does a defense in Cincinnati that seems to be rising up. They've got an excellent pass rush. They're going to be getting after Lawrence all night long. Seems like a classic low-scoring game. I see Cincinnati forcing some turnovers, getting some production against that weak Jacksonville offense. So that is my stream team defense. Finish out now, boys, our stealthy starts, and I will open up with a Bears player, Darnell Mooney. Look, he had one catch in that horrific performance in Cleveland last weekend. They posted, like I said, 47 yards of offense. Nobody had a chance to put up any fantasy points, let alone do anything more with the way that offense was going. The Lions don't have the pass rush of the Browns. They don't have the coverage in the secondary of the Browns. And ideally, the Bears figure out their game plan in the next few days before Sunday. They got to get things figured out after just a disastrous performance. Darnell Mooney is going to be getting his opportunities opposite Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson's always going to get the most volume in that offense, but Darnell Mooney benefited from that as a rookie last season. I think he's going to have a strong season when it's all said and done. It's not shown up yet. Keep an eye on Darnell Mooney against that Lions defense. That is my stealthy start this week. Jordan, who's your stealthy start?
I'm going to go with another wideout. I'm going to do Corey Davis of the New York Jets. He's going up against the Tennessee Titans, and that is important because it is a revenge game for Davis. And I love revenge games. They always seem to come through on the stat sheet. But there's a couple other reasons that I like Davis. If you go back to the first episode of our series, you'll see that I had Davis as my late round stealthy pick. And it started off so promising with 97 yards and 2 touchdowns in week 1. Since then, not so great, but that's because the Jets have played the stingy defenses of the New England Patriots and the Denver Broncos. So again, in week 4, he gets the Titans, who are much more exploitable. It's a revenge game, and the Jets are going to have to pass 1,000,000 times if they want to keep up with them. I don't even know if trying to win this game is going to be worth it, but we'll see. I also want to note a lesser revenge game that I like. Marvin Jones of the Jaguars going up against his former team, the Cincinnati Bengals. I think there's an opportunity there for some production on Thursday Night Football.
I'm all for the revenge games. I like that. Jesse, finish us off. Who's your stealthy start this week?
Well, first, big props to Jordan for absolutely nailing his stealthy start with Mike Williams last week, who went off for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns against Kansas City. So definitely pay attention to what this guy says. Dolphins receiver Jaylen Waddle turned 12 catches into just 58 receiving yards in week 3, which frankly isn't great. While some are already dismissing Waddle as the second coming of Jarvis Landry, I see his potential, particularly in PPR leagues, where he ranks a respectable 25th among wide receivers. The 22-year-old out of Alabama, where else, has been a busy bee in the early going with 26 targets, one off the rookie lead held by Pittsburgh's Najee Harris. That's impressive volume for a player still early in his development. Waddle is by no means a finished product. He's already committed 2 drops and a lost fumble. But this week, I think we'll see him feast against the winless Colts, who have allowed a league-high 7 touchdowns to opposing wideouts.
All right, week 4 of the NFL season. Alongside my colleagues Jordan Cohen, Jesse Pantusco, I'm Chris Emma. We'll see you next week.